count? Was it 54 or 57,000?
57,000 and change.
Okay. So I looked it up before we get into the matches and stuff. I looked it up. They restructured it and it holds over 67,000 people, right?
Okay.
And if you watched, it was not a sellout. Did you see the upper deck and then the second? There were a lot of empty seats. Not a million empty seats, but there were quite a few empty seats. So usually when they have it, in the middle of the pay-per-view, somebody comes down and says, "Hey, we broke a record." It was Miz, because Miz was the host of SummerSlam, and he did not say it was a sellout.
No.
So
no.
I just wonderful house. Don't get me wrong. I mean, 57,000 people is amazing for a wrestling event. I'm not trying to shit on them, but I did notice it was not a sellout this time. And I saw an article I don't know, maybe it was 17 hours before the show started or something. They were saying SummerSlam's still not sold out. So tickets were not moving as of the day before the event, which I found interesting.
I think a time of the summer has a lot to do with it because, traditionally when I think of SummerSlam, I think of the end of the summer. I don't think August 3rd. Now, going back in SummerSlam history, August 3rd, 97, they played the clip. There's a SummerSlam. So they've done it early in the month of August. But I think of it at the end of the summer, and back in the day, the early SummerSlams, that was the indication of summer's over, school's starting in a week, get your fun in, have your party, have the neighbors over. We used to have, literally my house was where I lived in Jersey. We would open up the back door and neighbors would just come in through the back door and watch SummerSlam because it was, that big a deal back then. But I don't think of it this early. So maybe people are still on vacation and going to Cleveland, Ohio ain't really my idea of a destination for a summer vacation. So I don't know, maybe that's one of the things that plays into it.
Well, I was in Cleveland. I flew in and out of Cleveland this weekend, and I did meet some people who were headed over to watch SummerSlam. Again, I'm not saying it wasn't a great crowd. It was it looked fantastic on television to me. I just imagine these shows for WWE selling out. You always hear, this one sold out, and then this one obviously did not. But we did get the debut of the ref cam. Now, what did you think of this? Because it was a very awkward piece. We saw it in the referee's ear. It looked like to me, it just looked like a GoPro growing out of the dude's ear. It must have been very, very uncomfortable. And then later, what I read later is when Seth Rollins was a guest ref, he had to throw his off because it kept coming off his ear. And he made a call to take it off and not wear it anymore.
Yeah, very stupid, very dumb.
It's stupid, huh?
Antiquated. They did the referee cam back in WCW in 1990. So to me, it's not very, earth shattering. And I'm sure they can make it very cool now because, cameras you could have on your eyeglasses. But dumb. And honestly, it made the crowd look exposed because, when they went into that referee cam, you could see a lot of those empty seats. So, no, I thought it was very dumb.
I thought instead of putting it in the ear, maybe let them wear a baseball cap with it. Remember American Gladiators when they would have the camera on their helmet?
That's how it used to look. Yeah, that's when they tried it back in the day. It was like a helmet. And it just
right. But instead of wearing a helmet, I thought maybe a baseball cap and they can attach it to that. If they're going to go with this in the future, having that in the ear must have been just really uncomfortable and annoying. And I was just like, okay, they're trying to be new and creative, but this is kind of weird. I don't know.
So let me ask you. So what are your thoughts going into the show, and sitting down and making that time investment? So looking down the barrel of it's a long show. And, for me, I had it on while I was doing other things, but got to, watch it and experience it live. And, you watched it post live, but fairly recent. So what were your thoughts going into it?
So you know me, I don't follow WWE programming. So most of the feuds, I didn't know who was fighting who. I didn't look at the card ahead of time. I just said, I'm just going to appreciate the wrestling aspect. And if I can catch on pretty quickly because like, I understand angles and where they're going with things. I'll tell you what, a lot of the stuff that happened, I called it before it happened. But I enjoyed it. My expectations, a WWE program, they're always going to be high because they always deliver. The packages are great. You know what I mean? Like, I love to see everybody's gear because 99% of the crew, except for CM Punk, has special gear that they wear for certain pay-per-views. Like Punk came out in his little hoodie, and I was just like, oh, okay, special. But anyway,
he had special ring gear though.
What, his trunks?
Punk's trunks were inspired by that whole match. Had an inspiration of the '97 Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Undertaker match. The whole thing, but it came out in just a hoodie. No, everybody else had glamorous.
Well, but
ring. Yeah, I know exactly what
when
you mean.
You have a pay-per-view, it's usually like over the top, elaborate. Everybody goes all out, But he still looked good in what he wore. Can't knock him. I was just expecting a really good show and, as always, advancing the angles. And I was watching the packages just to catch up on certain things. Because some of them I knew, some of them we've talked about on the show before. And other ones, like the LA Knight, Logan Paul, I didn't know what was going on with them at all. I am becoming a huge mark for both of these performers. And we'll get to that when we get to that match. But I just wanted to see good wrestling. I just wanted to, because I haven't watched it in a while. And I said, I'm going to sit down. I'm going to enjoy this. And for 3 hours and 36 minutes, I did nothing but watch the show. So,
yeah, very good. I will just say this. You and Dave Meltzer had almost the exact same take on the show. Dave Meltzer said it was an angle show, and if you were watching this show to see great wrestling, it wasn't that.
Well, I wanted to see great wrestling, so we didn't have the same take.
No, but he said it was an angle show, and then if you're watching this to see angles that that were predictable, which there's nothing wrong with. I'm in favor of predictable booking. When people say it was predictable, I usually say it must mean it makes sense. That's what this was.
I disagree with him. With the
you
wrestling
disagree?
Part,
it sounded like you kind of agree.
No, I thought the wrestling was above par. There was one match that I was like, eh. Everything else I enjoyed. I thought they worked really hard. I thought the wrestling was great. So no, I disagree with them. What I did say was pay-per-views advance the angles that are going on. And I needed to refresh myself because a lot of the stuff I didn't know what was going on.
Okay.
But I wanted to see good wrestling, and I think I did see that. And I'll explain to you as we go over each match what I liked and what I didn't like.
All right. Well, what do we got? We have
The Miz opened the show. You got to put over the
start
Miz.
at the top. Okay.
He started. Yeah, he started. Yeah, you have to start at you have to go in order. Come on now. Miz is from Cleveland, so of course he gets this baby face reaction. Crowd was behind him, and then he disappeared for like 5 hours. We didn't see him again. But he's in the crowd, hyping up, hyping everybody up. And we get the women's match first. Now, this is one of the angles that I kind of knew what was going on because we've discussed it.
Yes, we've discussed this one.
Liv Morgan, Dominic Mysterio. And I did see a spoiler. So I didn't know what the finish was, but I knew what the outcome was. And I was pissed off because anybody who knows me knows I hate spoilers. And I saw a spoiler for this and I was so mad. But I thought these two worked really, really hard. I enjoyed the match. I thought the biggest pop, besides the angle afterwards, was when Rhea said she dislocated her shoulder and she rammed herself into the announce table to try to push it back in place. Did you hear the people when she did that?
Yeah.
Loud as hell. Huge pop for that. And that, I mean, we all know it was not dislocated. Come on.
No.
There's no way it was. But smart move by those girls. That was a great spot. and then she gets in and then she's, banging it and just selling it. And then I think she hit the ring post a couple times to get it to go back in place when she was in the ring. Brilliant storytelling, because that's why she was out, and she's selling it like a champ. And I thought their facials were great. I thought they sold brilliantly. I thought Dominic played his role well. And think about it. It's hard when you have a duo that they cheer for one and boo for the other. So what are you going to do? You got to turn that one guy heel. Rhea's a baby face. Dom was bringing her down, you know? And even though I saw the spoiler, I could see this a mile away. So I thought really, really good match. I like the spot where she goes for the chair. Dom comes up behind her and grabs it like he's looking out for her. You can't win this way. Everybody thinks, oh, Dom's on her side, blah, 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 blah. Little do they know that chair comes back into play later. He feeds it to Liv. Boom. There's the finish. And then he reaches in and gives her the big kiss. And they stroll off into the sunset together. I liked it. That storytelling.
That was good. I liked it. Yeah, I liked that a lot.
Yeah,
very good.
That's a really, really good angle. I really liked it. The Dom turn just brought it up another notch. Thought it was great.
And it's excellent with Liv too, because she still gets a lot of cheers herself. She's still kind of over with the fans.
She was over.
But I think that's now going to bring her the heat, because now it's going to
bring her to Dom's level.
Right. Yeah. She officially stole him from Rhea.
Absolutely.
Who is insanely over. And, and Rhea, I had mentioned this when we brought it up a few weeks ago. I didn't like her playing that, scorned girlfriend and the damsel in distress. I didn't like her for that, because she's always such a dominant figure. Yeah. But, man, her facials were unbelievable, because you're like, holy crap, she's actually hurt. And she's upset by this. But when she gets a hold of one of them, particularly him, she's going to kill him. So it was, I thought that was the best part of that first half of the show by far, was when he picked Liv up and kissed her, and that crowd went nuts. That was absolutely great. I want to play you a quick little video that surfaced afterwards.
Well, let me just say one thing. It was very smart of them to use that as an opening match.
Yes, absolutely.
I thought it was a strong opener. And I realized that I'm a stickler. I said it so many times. I'm a stickler for angles and storytelling. And this told a story. So I enjoyed it.
So look at this. It's a video of Dom backstage with this little kid. So just check out their little exchange.
After the match?
No, this is from before.
Oh.
I know. I've been trying to tell her. I'm Team Mommy all the way, but she won't listen.
But people be saying that you are going to your back on real.
No, that's not true. I've talked to Punk about it.
Yeah, because if he does,
it's Team Mommy.
So, it says backstage, I'm Team Mommy all the way.
Punk just happens to be walking by. I've talked to Punk about it. We've discussed it.
Like they wrote, Dom lied straight to this little boy's face.
That's cute.
How great is that? No, the kid was dead serious. He's like, you got to turn on her. No,
that kid's falling from a mile away. He could be the next writer for WWE. I'm telling you. I
just thought that was great.
Even if, I thought the girls worked really, really hard. Even if the wrestling was shit, they still advanced the storyline. You know what I mean? But it wasn't. It was an enjoyable match. I liked it.
There's very few that can kind of hang on that Ripley level. She's really good, but and this is not disparaging Liv Morgan, who we've talked about on this channel before. She's just not that great in the ring, and that's it's not.
She looked strong here, and again, it could have been the opponent making her shine. I don't know, but for me, I don't watch regularly to see this. I thought they looked great together. I thought they were.
It was better showing for sure. It was better showing, but she's just not that. Not that strong.
All right. Well, she looked pretty good here. I will give it to her. I enjoyed it. So, what would you give it out of 5 stars? Let's
I'm gonna say
let's do eyes up here ratings. Screw the
eyes
other
up
guy's
here.
rating.
How many eyes?
How many? Oh yes, that's a good one. How many eyes do you give this
How
performance?
many eyes out of 5?
Yes, out of 5.
I'm gonna say 3.5 eyes.
3.5 eyes. I'm gonna go with 4 eyes, only
Okay,
because
4 eyes.
I'm gonna give it 4 eyes. Get it? 4 eyes.
I got you.
Only because I like the angle, I like the advancement, and I want to see where this goes. So I think it was 4-star match. I just enjoyed it as a fan. I was like, oh yeah, wow, ooh, it's pretty good. If you can pop me, I dig it. And this popped me. You know?
Fair enough. Yeah, I got you.
And I love the women. I love the women that work. It's great.
Sometimes they're more interesting than the guys.
That you are, baby. Yeah. So, all right. Well, then the next match was Braun Breaker, who reminds me. Now, I haven't seen him work ever. This was the first time. I thought I was watching Rick Steiner in the ring in 1994. He reminds me so much of his dad.
Yeah. Well, that's I guess that's chip off the old block.
Man, I said to my husband, I said, am I watching Rick Steiner? He just reminded me so much of Rick when he was in the ring, you know? So it was for the Intercontinental. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. So anyway, Liv retains her belt. We didn't put that over for those who are listening. I'm sure Rhea will get another shot down the line. But this next match is for the Intercontinental Championship. And who did he work again? Braun Breaker.
Sami Zayn.
Oh, Sami Zayn, right? Duh. I didn't write Sami's name down. First of all, Sami Zayn has the best entrance music. So fun. Love it.
Yeah,
I love that music. Again, this is one of those matches that I did not know what was going on. Now, what is there? Do they have a feud going?
For like a couple weeks.
Is it a big deal? A couple weeks.
Not a huge deal. This has just basically been building over weeks of television and culminates with the pay-per-view, title match. So it's been the logical move for Braun on the main roster that he's going to get his first shot at singles gold. And, he's not going straight to the world title. So you got to start at those secondary belts. So he's moving to the Intercontinental Championship. Now, if you've watched him, he's very fast. He's explosive.
Very fast.
He clearly did something to his shoulder in the match because he was favoring his shoulder very early. And I was like, all right, is he selling? Is this? But it looked like he tweaked something in his shoulder a little early. This was not his best match. And
it was a
Sami,
quick match.
It was, but it just wasn't the best. Because if it was going to be quick, it should have been a little bit more of a squash. But I guess they want to give Sami a little bit more since, he's a vet and he's not, just an enhancement talent. So I didn't think this was what they could have done. Honestly, if I could have, I would have flipped this with the women's match as the opener.
No.
Title change. Really? Because
you want a
title change, but I would have done it explosively.
Nope. You want a strong opening match to start off your pay-per-view. And you just said this wasn't his best work. So the crowd would have been
maybe that's why. It kind of just is
Disagree.
And if it was more of an explosive match, I think it would have had a different impact. But no, it's just wasn't his best showing. Some of the other matches he's had in NXT, and even since he got to Raw, where he just comes in, he runs like 100 miles an hour and just pounds you. This was not the best that I've seen.
Okay. I thought he looked good. He's got a good frame, good body. And like you said, he is a quick, he's quick. Good on his feet, jumping around. I enjoyed watching him bump. Does Sami chase for this title back? Do you think they're going to keep them together and prolong this feud? Or does, Sami go on to other ventures and Braun gets somebody else to work with?
Yeah, I think he'd have to. I mean, there's really not much else for
Sami
to do. Sami, I would think he'd have to. Yeah, okay. I think he'd have to be in the mix for this. They'll probably have somebody else elevate up. Maybe throw another one of the big men in there to have big man versus big man. But, big man. Braun's not very tall, but he's, thick. But no, again, maybe first of couple, but just not the best. What I could have seen for an Intercontinental Championship at a SummerSlam, which traditionally has been one of their stronger championship defenses in history.
I thought it was too short of a match. I wanted more out of this one. And a side note, up in the press box, the Steiners were up there along with Diamond Dallas Page, and they were watching it. And I read that initially WWE was like, oh, we don't know if we want to have Rick here, but he told them how he apologized online for it stems back to the WrestleCon incident with Giselle.
Right.
And, he told them that that's in the past and he's learned from his mistakes and blah, blah, blah. And that's why I guess they allowed him, and I'm using air quotes for that one, to be in the press box to watch his son work. But they showed a reaction video on WWE.com, and when he won the belt, they went up to the press box. Everybody was hugging Rick, and it was a nice moment. You could tell he was proud. So, good for him. But as far
he was
as
barking too, he was doing ho ho.
Yeah, well, the whole arena was barking. He took that right from the Steiners. Did you see it? Yeah. So this match, I would just give it maybe 2.5.
Yeah, I go 2.
2.5 eyes. 2 eyes. Okay.
2 eyes.
All right. And it's a shame because they did work hard, but for me, it just lacked like emotion. And again, I like storytelling, and this was just like a chase for the belt. I didn't really see any story being told here. So, and there could have been, I didn't see it. So, yeah. But I think Braun is somebody to watch for.
Oh yeah.
Future. So,
100%.
So what? Go ahead.
No, I agree with you. He's absolutely.
Okay. So after this, we get a shot of Stephanie McMahon. She's like dancing in her seat. Woo! And the word is that I heard is they're trying to get her to come back. So what kind of role is she if she does? I mean, her husband's there. Why not? Why not come back? The crowd popped when they saw her, and she was having a good time. I don't know if she had a cocktail in her hand. I didn't see one, but I would have if I was there. What does she come back as? A GM? She's not going to wrestle.
Maybe.
I don't think she's going to wrestle.
I don't mind her in that role.
Uh-huh. Okay. So you would be an advocate for Stephanie to come back?
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely McMahon-less on WWE TV. Obviously, it's something we could talk about at another time, but I'm sure other moves in wrestling could predicate how fast we see her pop up on TV.
Does she take her married name to avoid using McMahon?
Well, they put her up as Stephanie McMahon on the lower third.
Man. I know.
I thought the same thing. It's funny. I thought the same exact thing. I said, why didn't they put her as Stephanie Levesque?
She's never Stephanie Levesque, but
she was Stephanie McMahon on the screen, so she's still McMahon.
Her character has always been a McMahon, but with what's going on with the McMahons, I thought maybe they would have changed that. So I guess not. But anyway, let's move on. This was a match. This might have been my favorite match on the whole card. I loved this match. LA Knight and Logan Paul. Now, I know you've said you don't really like Logan Paul that much. I am a huge mark for Logan Paul.
I like Logan Paul in his role. Absolutely. No, I like what he does. And on these big shows, I think he's very good.
Okay. In the short time that he has trained and has worked, he is by far one of the best performers that WWE has now. His facials, his bumps, his moves, his charisma, he's up there, man. And I can see him in the future getting a run for one of the bigger belts. Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
He blew me away. Blew me away. I enjoyed watching him so much. I really did. And I've seen him wrestle once or twice, but LA Knight is no slouch either. He's really good too. So the pairing, along with, you had the Shenanigans, you had Machine Gun Kelly, who is shaped like a 14-year-old boy.
I mean, seriously, wow, yeah, he'd be somebody I'd really be worried about on the outside.
He looks like a little kid. I was like, what the hell? Always the Prime set up because, that's Logan Paul's gimmick, whatever. Interference with them, that's fine. I thought having the brass, don't they hide? When Shane and I worked, and if I had brass knucks or a chain, I would hide it. And I would make sure it was hidden until you want the camera to see it, obviously, but it's like hanging off his neck, and then he's using it, the chains hanging from his arm.
Yeah.
Dude, hide your weapons. You know what I mean? But let me tell you something. When they did the neck breaker on the announce table, I was like, wow, that popped me. That looked excellent, I thought.
Yeah, it's good.
Really good spot. They showed a close-up of Logan Paul's face, and he had a welt. I don't know what it was from. Did you see his face start to swell a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit. I did see that.
He had a welt on his face, and I don't know if there was a potato in there somewhere or what. But man, those two went at it, and just like when he did the flippity do, over the top rope, and oh my God, so good.
Oh yeah, no, that's very. I mean, he's extremely athletic. There's no doubt about it.
Super impressive. Like, I loved that match. And call me a mark, because we're all marks. I don't care. I'd give that a 4.9 eyes.
Wow.
I really would. I was going to say 5, but I don't know. I think it kept me glued to the television. Like, I didn't want to go to the bathroom. I didn't want to get a snack. I didn't want to go get a drink. I wanted to see what's going on. And I don't even know what's going on. I don't even know their story. I know nothing. All I know is watching Logan Paul makes me happy, because he is a true heel. His facials, his mimicking, so good.
Yeah.
Fight me on it.
No, I will not. I agree with you 100%. He's a great heel, awesome heel, very athletic, great spots. We kind of talked about it earlier before we were starting, and I'll continue what I was going to say. The celebrities that they do attach to him, I think it works, obviously, because of who he is, and it makes his dickish character, shine. But oh my God, Machine Gun Kelly, it's like he could have had cardboard cutouts standing behind him, and they would have had a little bit more of an intimidation factor than Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah, he's a name. I mean, he's a cute kid, but he's just like he looks like he's in high school. He just looks like a little kid. Yeah, I don't know.
He's definitely he looks like something. He looks like he's got he needs a sandwich or two, if you ask me.
Now they're heels, so when they're coming to the ring, he's from Cleveland, Logan Paul. So you would think, people would be like, "Yay!" But they were booing him.
No, they were booing him. No, and I thought that was great. But Machine Gun Kelly is trying to sell. Yeah, he's trying to sell albums. So why would he be a heel?
And high-fiving people. Yeah. Well, he sits with Jelly Roll later, and they're hanging out, and they show
makes
them.
No sense.
That was bad booking. I'm sorry.
Jelly Roll, he's another huge name in the entertainment world. And it's one of those things. This could be old man yelling at the cloud. I just feel so bad for today's generation as I watch Steven Tyler have to end the Aerosmith band as we know it because of his vocal cords being fried. This generation has to have MGK and Jelly Roll as their musical whatever. Okay, back to the match. I'm giving it 3 stars. Okay, 3 eyes. 3 eyes. Yeah, I'm not into LA Knight. I'm not into the shtick. I don't. He still has not gripped me. I think Logan Paul was the interest for me in the match because, again, I think like everything you said, the great heel, the athleticism, blah, 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 blah. I mimic everything that you just said. So I'm going to give it 3 eyes out of 5. This is what LA Knight needs, I guess, to take him to the next level. But I guarantee you they take this belt off of him within the next month. There's no way he's going to keep it. They're going to put it right back either on Logan Paul or just move it to another heel. He does not. LA Knight does not need a belt at all.
So another title change, obviously. LA Knight
100%
gets this belt, which was what was that belt? The U.S.
United. This is and this is just for LA Knight. Look, we know you're super over. We know we've had you sit on the sidelines a little bit over the last year, even though the fans love you. This is your victory. We're probably going to take this belt off of you in a few weeks.
Well, I disagree. But on that note, we can agree to disagree, and I think we need a commercial break. All right. We're back. And we're going to continue on with our SummerSlam review. Now, this next match, this was the one that I was just like, not really feeling. So nothing against Bailey. I think Bailey is a tremendous worker.
Agree.
I've seen her go really, really good. This match to me was slow. Really slow. Do you agree?
Yeah, 100%. And it's really? Like she has to, she's going to have to change the style, obviously, because, this is not the Braun Breaker speed we're going to be at in this match, but she had to lower her work in this, and it definitely showed.
I didn't think the crowd was into it until Bailey did the walking power bomb when she had Nia up, and that showed tremendous strength, and she took a couple steps. Then the crowd came alive a little bit, but up until that point, everybody was just like, nah, whatever. And it's a shame because the girls were working hard, but I've said it a million times. Sometimes the camera angles that they use are so revealing, right? Nia Jax does her gimmick where she jumps off and she lands on, Bailey's laying and she jumps. The first time she did it, you can tell that she left about this much room and then just sits on her. And I'm just like, oh my God. Could they have not? Now, you have to protect each other. I get it. Nobody wants to hurt somebody intentionally. But good Lord, if you're going to do a move like that, you have to make it connect somewhat. The angle they used, that was terrible. Yeah, you saw how much she stopped and then just sat on her. It was bad. It was bad.
Yeah, that's not, that's new regime of director and camera people. They usually cover that stuff up pretty good.
That was right there. That camera was right there. Maybe if they would have did a wider shot or something,
a little tighter even.
No, wider. So you wouldn't be able to see. It was a tight shot. She was right there in the corner. The cameraman was right there, and you saw how much she stopped and then just sat on her. It was not good. It was not good. I'm sorry. And she did that move a couple other times, and it looked like it connected a little better. But that angle, I was just like, oh no. And of course, you have to sell it.
Yeah.
You can't no sell it. She's a big girl coming off the top. Of course, you got to sell it. But it's just, I don't know. I didn't think the crowd was into it. I think they were behind Bailey 100%, but they were kind of dead. Yeah. Now, maybe it was more, loud at the venue, but coming off on television, I didn't feel it. I don't know.
Do you think Nia Jax getting the championship could be somewhat of a nepotism belt transfer?
I mean, do you think The Rock said, hey, it's The Rock's idea to put the belt on Nia Jax since he's making all the rules now? I don't know.
It was a shock when she was brought back because she was not particularly loved backstage, and she was hurting a lot of people.
Out of it. There was one point in this match where she's kicking Bailey and she's saying, oh, I'm not safe to work with. I'm clumsy. I'm this. I'm that. That was the word going around. That's a shoot. They made it into an angle. A lot of the girls said they didn't like working with her. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, this took its own turn, and they brought reality into the story. And I'm not saying Bailey feels that way, but they brought it in and they used it. And Nia's got her heat. I mean, she is a good heel. She comes off, very I'm better than you, and I like that. I like the heel persona about her. But I think sometimes it's hard because she's so much bigger than the other girls and not as quick, so to speak. You do have to wrestle kind of different, maybe. I've never worked with her, so I don't know. But, then you get a guy like Bam Bam Bigelow who was light as a feather and could do 42 cartwheels in a row and not break a sweat. So it's just a different dynamic. I don't know. I just felt like this match lacked something. I know there's a storyline behind it, but this was the one match that I was just like, ugh, I want it more. I want it so much more.
I also thought Bailey had the job face in the this match coming into it. I know she had to kind of look intimidated by Nia Jax and the whole task at hand, but I thought she had the meh.
Really?
This ending's predictable, and I kind of thought she had the little bit of the boo boo face. If you ask me, just I kind of felt if you looked at it really really closely, I kind of thought she had the job face on. Yeah.
Well, I when they hit Tiffy time, I said to myself, "Oh, is she going to cash in?" And she did not. They continue the angle with her and Nia being BFFs, and helps Nia go over. But down the line, it's going to be Tiffy versus Nia, because Tiffany's going to have to turn at some point. She's going to get fed up, and she's going to turn, and she's going to cash in that briefcase, and you're going to see a new women's champion, Tiffany Stratton. My prediction.
Yeah, and I think eventually she'll get super over too, because
she's super over now. People love Tiffy time.
Yeah, but as babyface, I think that they're gonna want to turn her.
Well, she's aligned with Nia now, so she's a heel.
Right. Yeah.
So eventually when she turns on Nia, she'll be a huge baby face, and they're going to put the belt on her. That's what I think. But overall, I would only give this match like 2 eyes, unfortunately. I mean, the biggest pop for me was the walking powerbomb.
I agree with you. I'll go with 2 eyes as well.
Okay. So, and that makes me sad because I do, again, I love the women and I love watching them work, but this just left me like, meh. Okay. The next match was CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre with Seth Rollins as the ref. Now, can we talk about Seth's outfit, first of all? First of all, his ring jacket was incredible. Absolutely incredible. And then when he took it off and had the blinged out ref shirt and the pants, I'd wear those pants and I'd wear that shirt and I'd wear that. I
could see you wearing those pants. I could see you
I could wear it all, baby. I love me some sequins. He looked fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. But again, like I said in the beginning of this recording, the ear thing, I could tell he kept touching his ear, and I was like, that's going to be a problem. This ref cam is really going to be a problem. But his entrance was great, and he mugged for like 2 minutes. They let him he's whipping the jacket around and he's posing for the fans, and man, he got his SummerSlam entrance all right. So, next came out Drew and then Punk. Drew McIntyre goes over. This was a storytelling match now, because I know a little bit about it. I know that Drew was saying derogatory things about AJ and Larry, the dog, and he stole the bracelet. And apparently that bracelet makes Punk feel like he's, with his family. And it's like a little security blanket that he wears on his arm. And, Now Drew had the bracelet and was wearing it and all this stuff. Okay, I get it. So it was personal, and he took digs against his family, and I liked it. I thought it was good. Didn't think it was. I mean, I still liked LA Knight and Logan Paul more than this, but I thought this was good, and it furthered the story.
Yeah, and it was also branching off a little bit into Punk and Rollins, with how that outcome was when Punk stopped what he was doing to GTS Rollins, and
Right.
then eat a Claymore, which Rollins recovered fairly quickly from the GTS then to count the 3. But yeah, this goes back to the Royal Rumble. Punk got hurt in the match. It derailed the WrestleMania plans. And then Punk made Drew's life a living hell for the rest of this calendar year. And it was great. And, and people were saying Punk looked blown up and he's old and he can't hang with these guys anymore. And I disagree. I thought he was fine in the match. I don't think that he was like out of shape or particularly gassed. I thought the match was fine. I think these were 3 guys that you could interchange one for the other, and it would have been an awesome match on this show. Drew McIntyre is probably the most underutilized guy in the company.
He's a monster.
He is huge. And the dude is he's so like agile. He's fast. He's strong. And I love this. I thought this was great. And I do love that Drew, either one of them I would have been fine with going over. I thought Drew going over was perfect. So I just didn't like Rollins in it. I thought Rollins as the special ref, I would have maybe liked him as an enforcer on the outside more. I just thought his like passive aggressive refness at times was kind of dumb.
See, and that's where I liked it. You can't have him as an enforcer because who's he going to side with? This making him the ref, he has to be neutral. He hates them both. So he has to be a neutral part in this match. You can't have him on the outside. Who would he pick? Can't help both. He's not going to help both of them, win or whatever. But being the referee, I love the way he just ignored things. Somebody's doing something. He walked to the other side. He starts laughing, or he goes, so there's a pin going on. He looks, oh, you need me? Okay, 1, 2. Oh, he kicked out at 1. It's not my fault. I love that. That's what heel refs do, and he made it so he did it to both of them. It wasn't partial to one or the other. He kind of screwed over both of them as the ref, trying to make these counts and stuff. But when it came to it and he had to count to 3, he did. I liked him as the ref. So I disagree with you on that. But to get back to Drew McIntyre being larger than life and this big creature, I only met him once and he was super sweet to me, right? About a month ago, we're at the airport and Hack's walking, Sandman, for those of you who don't know, Hack's walking over to me. And he says, he goes, I was just walking right next to Drew McIntyre. He's not as big as I thought he was. I go, dude, he's big. He's like, nah, he's not that big of a guy. I go, are you sure that was him? He goes, I'm positive that was him. I go, did you put him over? He goes, no. I said, oh, okay. But he thinks he's smaller and he just looks big on TV. I'm like, Hack, really?
He looks like a walking billboard.
I think he looks great. His body, he just looks like he should be chopping wood in the snow shirtless with suspenders on. And every time he smiles, he should have a little glisten on his tooth, like ding. He's like the perfect man, Drew McIntyre. Looks great.
What did you think of Punk? Did you think Punk looked good for the first time back since Royal Rumble?
Yes. They were saying something, was it 10 years or 10 years since his last televised WWE match?
Singles WWE match. Yep.
I thought he looked good. I didn't think he looked old. I do agree with you on that. I thought he still can go. I didn't see any ring rust granted, he's been in AEW doing stuff before this. So obviously he's been training and whatnot, but I thought he looked just as good as he did the last time he was there.
Yeah.
I didn't see any difference.
People I guess maybe it's just that AEW hate rhetoric trying to see this guy fail.
Yes.
But now you can't. You got to give the devil his due. They did very good. Oh, and then there was a clip of him hugging Stephanie McMahon outside the ring, and people are like, "Oh, now he's hugging Stephanie McMahon
I didn't
outside
see
the
that.
ring."
What, before he went back, he hugged her? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe there's an alliance forming. Wow.
Oh,
Interesting.
how about that?
All right. Well, Drew McIntyre gets the win on that one. This next match, I thought was
How many stars?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'd give them a solid 4.
I would say 4.
It's eyes. It's not stars, hon. It's
4 eyes. 4 eyes.
4 eyes. Yes. I liked it. I enjoyed it. Yeah, so that was a good one. So the next match, Damian Priest versus Gunther. This looked like an old-fashioned knock him down, slobber knocker shoot. I love this match.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
This was friggin' great. I don't know if it's because they busted each other's chest open and they're bleeding. I don't know. You're frozen.
Yeah, don't worry. Just keep going.
Okay. So I don't know if it's because they busted each other's chest open and there was blood. It just looked real. It looked like they wanted to kill each other. It reminded me of like old school 70s, 80s wrestling. Gunther is just he's a guy that reminds me of Chris Candido, where there's no gimmicks needed, right? Just got a pair of tights and boots on, and he looks fantastic. I enjoyed this match a lot, and it was to advance, the story with Finn Balor, because at the end of this, Finn Balor runs down, and you knew something was going to happen, and of
100%.
course, there's a turn on the Judgment Day, and he turns on them, and I saw it coming a mile away.
Yeah, and that kind of sucked. We didn't mention in between, there was a backstage segment where he asked Damian, "Do you want me to come with you? You want me to have you back?" He said, "No, I need you to stay back here.
Right.
Find Dominic," because Dominic had not come back to the Judgment Day clubhouse, and this was that was so predictable, but. Again, not bad, because now you got questions. Are Priest and Rhea Ripley their own little group? Right. And are Balor, Dominic, the other guy, and Liv going to be their own group? So it could be. I mean, I can see them going with Priest and Finn down the line. Absolutely.
Yeah, but Gunther, he impresses me. I've seen him. I saw him win the King of the Ring. I watched that, and that's the first time I actually saw him work. And I loved him then, and I love him now. It's just that old school wrestler that comes out. Doesn't need a gimmick. Doesn't need a big fanfare, and he just goes out there and he kicks ass. And this match to me looked like a shoot. They were beating the piss out of each other. It was just really, really good. I just enjoyed it. I enjoyed it so much. So Gunther wins. And I just see Damian going after Finn. I don't even see, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but unless we get Finn interfering on his matches to the point where then they break him away, he tries to get the belt back from Gunther. I don't know how they're going to do that. But man, this was a slobber knocker, as good old JR would say. Really well done.
That's a good question, because I would think maybe they're going to have somebody just line up for Gunther to beat rather than him just beat Priest again. Because what was funny is they played a commercial for Priest's emotional documentary right before he comes out, and they're like, "You gotta watch his documentary. It tells you his journey and how his struggles were and blah blah blah." And then he gets beat for his belt right in the middle of the ring. I got to tell you, I don't think he's done. I think he might get another run. I think he's a good champ. He's a big ass guy. He's a guy I could see putting them getting the belt back at some point. But you got to put the belt on Gunther. He's that old school.
I love it.
Foreign heel. He's in great shape. He can beat the crap out of everybody. He can stretch them, and he's believable. And that's what I like about who they're pushing in these top spots is they're pushing believable guys who you would think, okay, this is a guy who I could see as a champion. This is a guy who I could see fighting a champion, not just some random versus a guy who you'd say, all right, he's going to kill him. It's very interesting to see where they could go with any of these, but I love this match. This is the old Haas big guy versus big guy match. I love this.
I loved it too. And one of the best parts, and it popped me huge, is when Gunther, I think Damien was selling something. I can't remember the move. And Gunther's like on his knees, right? And he's bleeding. His chest is bleeding from the chops. And he looks up because over the entrance, there's a huge monitor, a huge screen. And when he looks up and he sees the blood, the crowd sees him react to his blood, and the crowd just erupts because he's busted open. You know what I mean? And I don't know if it was Pat McPhee or somebody goes, oh, he's busted open, just like on Sirius XM. Put over the show. But I thought that was a cute moment. He sees himself and he's bleeding. And geez, I just loved it. I loved it so much, almost as much as the LA Knight Logan Paul. I think I might have liked it actually equal to that. I think they're equal. I think I would give this one a 4.9 as well.
You know, I will give this one my highest eyes rating, and I will give it a 4.5.
Nice.
So I will give this one my highest.
All
and
right.
I will also take this time to now comment on the commentary, now that you mentioned Pat McAfee and company.
Hate him.
So I don't like McAfee. I absolutely loathe Michael Cole as a lead commentator. But what I liked was that they have Corey Graves there. And Corey Graves is a good balance for the stupidity between the two of them. And also the over-the-top screaming that they do when he's not there. So usually, and that's what I couldn't stand about watching WrestleMania and some of these other shows like the show in France and some of those other big matches, when Michael Cole's just yelling, it is unbearable. Corey Graves is just your typical old school color commentator with the heel little bit of a flavor, gives you some history, has some history with the guys so he can throw some stuff out there. Cool nicknames. Love that. If he wasn't there, I think I'd be criticizing this commentary a lot worse. And McAfee didn't really bother me last night as compared to other shows, but Michael Cole is horrible. I just feel so strongly in my convictions that he's so bad as a league. And I saw an interview with him where now he's starting to speak out about Vince McMahon. This guy should be kissing Vince McMahon's rear end in a non-sexual harassment way for the opportunity Vince gave him to be the lead commentator. So I don't want to see him talking bad about Vince in the manner that he's starting to now.
What is he saying?
Oh, just, the talking in his ear and, I went back and I got in his face and blah, blah. Oh, shut up. You did not. Will you stop? And then my last point on the commentary, the ring announcing. Oh, boy.
Well,
we
your
had
girl,
a couple.
Samantha.
Oh, well, when she's not posting nudies of herself online for attentions. You didn't see that this week?
No, she's naked?
She posted a picture of herself with just her hair covering her nippies.
Oh, nothing wrong with that. You shut up.
Okay.
Stop it.
Okay. I don't remember the Fink doing that. I don't remember Howard Finkel posted pictures.
Howard Finkel was bald. He had no hair to cover up his nips.
With his microphone covering his dingling. Don't look down.
You're
I've
such
got
a
my
hater,
microphone.
bro.
But,
you're such
oh
a
my
hater.
God. When she actually did the gruff thing that I make fun of, when she does this, when she's announcing, oh God, over the top. But yes, I'm going to say Corey Graves needs to be in the booth every time to make it palatable.
Okay. Well, there you
What
have
are your
it.
thoughts?
I thought they were fine.
And she gives it 5 eyes out of 5.
The match I would give it 4.9. I love this match. I thought it was great. I really thought it was great. I thought they worked their asses off and stiff as shit. And I like Finn turning And it's a story. I love storytelling, and it all came together. So again, excited to see what they do, if they put Damian against Finn, or if they make Damian chase this belt and just Finn keeps trying to screw him. Like, who's going to be with who? What happened to the Judgment Day? We don't know. So like it a lot.
Now you are a classic heel. You have the RBF mastered, for your facials. He had a pretty mean face on. What were your thoughts on his really mean face?
His face did not move. That looked like a still. He was frozen in time. That mug just staring into his soul. I was like, okay, are we ever going to move? Like, what's going on? It was great. It was a stare down. I loved it.
Priest going after him again, which I thought was great too. Yeah, it was very well done. Very well done.
Good. All right.
All right.
This is your next segment is probably your favorite one. We have Jelly Roll.
Oh God.
So Theory and Waller come out after the Miz and R-Truth are in the ring, and they're hyping up the crowd, and that's when Miz tells us what
those poor guys
what they drew that night, 57,000 plus or whatever it was. They're trying to tell jokes. The crowd's kind of flat on it. They're calling Jelly Roll fat. The crowd's just like, eh. They're saying his music kind of sucks. Next thing you know, Jelly Roll's in the ring. He's got a chair. What happens? Boom! Boom! Hits them. Big baby face. All three of them. You can't see me. They drop some truth onto them, and then they stand victorious. It was a cute little comic relief filler. You hate it.
Poor Theory. He's the guy who's wishing Vince McMahon came back. Because Vince McMahon pushed him as a top guy who beat John Cena at WrestleMania 2 years ago. And now he's getting beat up by Big Jelly Roll at SummerSlam.
Well, I thought it was cute. I don't know. Okay, we have our main event. We have Solo, the Bloodline, versus Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Championship. This is under Bloodline rules. Now, let me just start with saying I hate this Bloodline rules bullshit. Why do they get their own rules? Can you tell me?
Well, there was a match to determine whether or not the Bloodline got their Bloodline rules.
I hate that.
It was just like how The Rock and Roman got it. Well, I guess it's just a stipulation. It's just a stipulation that gets added when they need it. It's like,
when they need it. This is bullshit.
Yeah, when they need it.
Get rid of it. Don't.
It's just a way to throw millions of interference.
Of course it is.
Lazy booking
that. I just
pieces in at the end.
If I'm gonna wrestle you and you have Bloodline rules, in my mind, I'm thinking, oh my God, there's gonna be 6 run-ins. I need help.
Yeah, load up your team.
I'm gonna
load up your guys.
You're gonna have to. If you're a solo person by yourself, you're screwed.
But Cody in Wrestling Logic did not do that because it was Double A who did it.
He did. He came to the rescue, cut a great promo, and told him there's some friends that will be coming to help you. And Cody was like, excellent. We also get to see Pharaoh, Cody's dog that will not make any more trips because the dog's too old,
Oh, is that what was said?
I think the dog's 13 now and can't travel anymore, so it's time to just take him off the road.
It's a little, the whole thing is a little much. The walking with the dog, the coming out of the bus with the vodka thing on the side, the lady putting the jacket. The lady putting the jacket on him, then him having the stupid skull mask on when he came out. I love
the mask.
Oh my God, so much. But hang on. So now the big deal with the reveal of Double A, first time since he's been gone from AEW and now, in the graces of WWE. So that's a big, potential good pickup by WWE if Arn is back in the fold, because Arn was there forever. And, he left under the, the old regime. So if they're able to get him back in the fold somehow, I think that's a big win.
Now, I don't watch regularly. Regal, is he back on television as well? NXT wise?
I don't know if that I couldn't answer.
Okay.
I know Shawn Michaels is still popping up.
Oh yeah,
as
no,
one of
but I mean
authority.
the way Regal left AEW.
I know Regal's. Yeah, he had that deal where he couldn't be on TV. I don't know if that's up yet.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, anyway, let's go to this match. Bloodline rules. So this to me, simply let's advance this storyline, right? It's been forever. We've talked about this. Thought it was good. This was at a slower pace, I thought, as well in the beginning. And then the interference comes in, right? Yeah. So we have the bloodline run out. They start beating up on Cody. We have Kevin Owens making his return. He comes running down, and he looked like he was running like Fred Flintstone starts his car. That entranceway was super long, mind you.
It was long. No, it was. And he had on very weird blue sneakers.
It just looked like he was taking short baby steps to run instead of like strides to run to the. And then Randy Orton comes out like, yeah, my friends are getting beat up. It's cool. I don't care. That's my pet peeve here. When Sandman used to come out, I know his entrance is everything, but you got your friends bleeding in the ring. You're going to take 8 minutes to go around the arena before you go and help them. Like, does that make any sense?
And I bet you any other guy would have got reprimanded except for Randy Orton.
Randy Orton came out a little slow to the party, but he was having a good time. So he comes running out. Then Jacob Fatu comes out as well. And what did they do? They something with the announcing table. Did he put Cody through the?
So what he did was, he came in, he jumped and did a friggin' whisper in the wind, lands on his feet, did like 2 moves, throws him to the outside, did a splash through the announce table, and that's where
Okay, so he hurt himself.
Yes.
And he's in a boot now, which is not good. Hopefully it's nothing serious. And I didn't read any reports after that. I just heard that he
didn't see anything official outside. He's in a boot, and Triple H said he was banged up. I mean, people were like, tibula, fibula, blah, 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 blah. I mean, it could be anything. It's just so weird because those tables to me, they look like Legos, right? They're so collapsible with the way they build them. But that bone that's in there, I mean, I have problems with that part of my leg, right? So I'm very cautious of how shoes you wear and whatever. He could have just hit it in such the right spot where it just shattered that you could tell right away he was pissed. He was mad. He couldn't put weight on it. And what we'll talk about in a minute, he definitely was supposed to be factored in at the end there.
Okay. Well, that happened. Roman Reigns comes out to a thunderous pop. And I said it. He's going to come back. He's going to be a huge baby face. No Paul Heyman, just Roman Reigns. And he goes after Solo, which I knew that was going to happen. He did the Superman punch and the spear, and Cody retains the belt. And then
made it look like he might go after Cody because Cody was trying to get up on the rope and Solo was kind of idling in the corner. And when he came in, he loaded up with the Superman punch and looked at Cody and then turned to
Solo.
Knew. Yeah, you knew who he was going.
That was just for the crowd. Come on. And then Jacob Fatu did have to be helped back after this. Solid match. I like the run-ins, there was a sign in the crowd manifesting Roman Reigns' return at SummerSlam. Did you see that one sign? The guy.
What did it say?
I'm manifesting Roman Reigns' return.
No, I didn't notice that.
I was like, duh, dude. Everybody is. But I thought Roman looked really lean.
Yeah.
Super lean. I liked it. Again, I like the storytelling. To me, if it's a match and there's no story, no angle, it's like, okay, these guys can work, but tell me a story, And this told me a story. So we'll see. I mean, Survivor Series. coming up. Could we see the Bloodline and then Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, Randy Orton?
You would think.
We could see
or,
that.
you know, we did not see the Usos.
They could bring them back as well. Yeah.
There was
Jimmy's coming back. I think he's supposed to return soon, right?
Yeah.
Is it Jimmy? Yeah. And Jay's so eat. I was doing the dance.
Yeah. And they're not really doing particularly much with him on Raw at the moment.
He's super over though.
He's over, but they're not doing anything with him.
Okay.
There's really, honestly, you know what? He might be the first guy they feed to Gunther.
Maybe.
Thinking about it, he might be main event. Jey Uso, he might be the first guy they feed to him.
Did you think you were going to see The Rock in some capacity on this show?
For a minute, I thought there was a bait and switch, and it wasn't going to be Roman, and it was going to be The Rock.
Okay.
Just for, I had a hair feeling there was going to be a bait and switch, but my gut was Roman the whole time.
Yeah, me too.
I did get that little bit of doubt that maybe we're thinking Roman, but they're going to go Rock.
Okay.
But no, that was the way. I mean, I've been updating you on this story for months.
Sure,
I've been saying this for months. Roman will be back at SummerSlam. This was the way it should have been. It was perfectly done, and I'd love to see where they go next.
How many eyes do you give it?
I'm going to give it 4 eyes.
4 eyes. I'm going to give it 4.2 eyes. I'm going to give that an extra little 2.
I love those little extra points.
I love the little extra points because, certain things I enjoyed about it. I did. Overall, I thought this was a really solid pay-per-view. I really did. I really, really enjoyed it. Even the Bayley-Nia match, I mean, I didn't hate it, but I didn't think it was the best match on the card either. You know what I mean? But I enjoyed watching them work. But overall, I thought it advanced every storyline that needed to be advanced in a good way. Really not many slip-ups at all. The only thing I can think of is the one angle shot that I said with Nia that looked bad. But she was just trying to protect Bayley. I get it. It was just the angle. I really wish they would have used a wide angle from another corner. Maybe it would have looked a little better. But otherwise, I enjoyed this pay-per-view. And it was long. It was a long one. But, you got to get your shit in. You got to get everybody in there.
Yeah, it was good. I definitely enjoyed it to keep me intrigued that whole time. Now, I did watch it, as we might say, illegally on X.
Did you?
Yes, I did. Somebody kept putting up a stream, and I only dropped twice. So they just kept putting it back up whenever it dropped. So I did not. Peacock. Yeah, I did not bother to go the Peacock route because I discontinued it the last time I had my 3-month subscription, and I just saw somebody had it going during the first match. I said, well, I'm in. So that's why I got SummerSlam and I was all in.
Wow. All right. Well, like I said, I pay, I do the legal things and I pay for Peacock. So
hey, I'm not saying I'm proud of it. I'm just saying I did it.
Just saying you did it. All right.
It's like old school. Remember the black box?
Yeah, I do. My brother-in-law had that black box.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, he did. He got everything back then. Overall, I enjoyed it. It was a really, really good team effort by the locker room. And I'm happy I watched it. And I'm happy we could have, did this show for you guys. And let us know what you think. Leave a comment. And what would you rate it? Overall, I'd give it a solid 4. 4 eyes for the whole show.
I will mimic your 4. I will go right there.
Okay.
Just looking at my ratings, I got a 4, 4.5, 3.5. I'll just go with the 4.
Yeah, average it out to 4. Very, very good. Fun stuff. I liked it. So, what do you got going on? Do you want to plug anything or?
Yeah. This week you can catch me on It's Husey Hello.
Hello.
Where we did a recap. It was a top 3 Aerosmith songs, and like your worst Aerosmith song / moment in honor of their retirement from touring and effectively really their end of a full-time band. So
Okay.
very sad to see them go, but that I believe is dropping this week. Follow I think it's Husey Hello on YouTube and on iTunes. So go ahead and do that. And on X, it's at Chad Ian.
Okay. So I just want to plug Falls Fury for MAW. It's Saturday, August 17th, doing a meet and greet from 4 to 6. And then I'm also on the show at 6:30 bell time. I don't know what we're doing on the show. Might be doing like a 6-man. I'll be managing Shane and whoever else comes down. But I know Joe Hendry's on the show, Tommy Dreamer's on the show, Ted DiBiase's on the show, Ken Anderson's on the show. So if you are in the vicinity of Redwood Falls, Minnesota, come out and see us. And again, that's Saturday, August 17th. And please go to YouTube, subscribe, put up a video about my health. If you haven't seen that yet, go over and check it out. Very raw, very honest video about what's going on with me and just explaining what I've been going through. And if you can go and subscribe, ring that bell so you get the notifications. If you want to be a channel member, it's only $5.99. That gets you a month's worth of this episode live and in, well, not live, but in living color. You get to see us and hear us. So, that's pretty good. I think that's a good deal.
You lucky duck.
So lucky to be able to get a channel membership. And I hope you're staying safe. I hope you're staying healthy. And most of all, I hope you are staying extreme.